All right, just let me check that the recording is working. Yeah, it is recording because I recorded the whole video, but it cut off like towards the end, unfortunately. But I'm gonna re-record it and get it done, so we'll be good. I made some notes instead, so this video will be quicker than the previous one, and hopefully better. So let's start with the question, because it's a questionnaire. And of course, yeah, the daily, or not the daily, the disclaimer, like I always start off with. Nothing is for sale, nothing is monetized. There are no courses, mentorships, affiliates, or anything else. There aren't even ads on the YouTube videos. The only link you'll find will be to my Discord, which again is just, I mean, it used to be just trading talk in general, but as it grew, there's more people in general talking about random ass stuff now. Don't know what they're always talking about. But there's links to all my videos, some beginner guide, investing guide, and we'll get into this one, some physiques, people posting physique. I encourage that. Used to be another guy posting. Alright, yeah, there we go, yeah. People posting physique. Another one posted, but he deleted it apparently. Okay, so let's get to the first question because it's of relevance. Because I preach physical fitness. So this is a question coming out of Russia, but this one we didn't really need location, because it doesn't really matter. So he sent me a list that it looks like you've got out of Chat GPT, I think. Like, what is good for lifting? You asked me if these are good. Is this a good stack? Yeah. So let me break it through. Or let me break it down. Let me go through it. Sorry, I have to type with just my right hand, and I'm left-handed. In case you don't know why, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, it's because I have actually multiple fractures in my left wrist, and it's been like this for 2 weeks now. But yeah, so regarding all these compounds or supplements is a much better word. These you'll get through a pre-workout, so you don't really need that. And protein plus electrolytes. I don't know what you mean with that. You mean a protein shake? Yeah. So let me simplify it for you. 1 gram of protein per pound body weight. 5 grams of creatine. And a pre-workout. That's really all you need. Electrolytes are just things that make you hold water so you don't get dehydrated. So you don't really need it. Because if you're drinking a Monster in there, or I mean, if you have sufficient sodium in you, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Just focus on these 3 things here, especially as a beginner. Don't overcomplicate it. And per pound is a rough estimate. It's 2.2 times your kilos. But you can just do times 2 for simplicity's sake. So let's say you're 80 kilos here. You can eat 160 grams of protein a day, and you'll be at the perfect amount. And there's when you buy creatine and buy the standard cheap ass monohydrate, there's a plastic spoon in it. Just use that, take a scoop or 2, and you're good. Don't overthink about it. It's simple stuff. Also, why do you say that training makes you a better trader? And we talked a little bit more afterwards, but I didn't copy it all in here. So thank you for actually working out, and not just talking about it, but actually following all the principles you preach. And I appreciate that. Look at this shit. It's just me that put the fire emojis on myself. Hell yeah. 100. Yeah. 100. Alright. Anyways. Why does that make you a better trader? Yeah. So this goes back to both. I picked out these questions because both of these questions are pretty basic. And by the way, I'm gonna drop down most likely from, it depends on the questions now, but from 3 to 2 questions, because 3 questions, or I mean questions from 3 people is already a lot to answer. But this goes back to being a disciplined person. The whole trading, whole orchestra surrounding trading, if I can use that word, is dependent on your discipline all the time. And I made a little checklist here that'll show you what I mean afterwards as well. I'll make these flow nicely together, these questions now, because I had a little bit of time. My OBS wasn't working. I'm kind of paranoid that it'll turn off again. But it's all about discipline. So you going in the gym and doing something that hurts, it's painful, you don't want to do it, it builds character and it builds discipline. It also makes you healthier. It makes you feel better. And when I say healthier, I don't just mean healthier in the physical sense. You also become mentally healthier. You become sharper. And it's a great distraction. This is very important for the stoic part of being a trader, which it is, because it is not an emotional endeavor. It shouldn't be exciting entering a trade. It shouldn't be hurtful, painful losing a trade, losing 10 trades in a row. That happens to me all the time. Having a red week, having a red month, having 2 consecutive red months, up to 3 red months in a row. That shit shouldn't hurt you. That shit is all part of it. Completely fine. Completely normal. Yeah, I have 2-3 red months in a row almost every single year. We've just had some really good months now. 4 really good months in a row for my strat. So I've hit my monthly limit, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. However, I've also mentioned it earlier that this whole thing, like I said, this whole orchestra is a disciplinary endeavor. And discipline I've found to be sort of like a muscle. If you train your discipline somewhere else, you're going to become more disciplined in general. Me, for myself, I know that if I write something down on my calendar, I'm going to do it. And that carries over a lot to trading, because I know that if I've set the rule for myself that my max loss is 1%, then it is 1%. I'm not going to move my sell loss. I'm not going to fuck with the most crucial thing there is, which is bankroll management. I hope that answers it pretty cleanly. If not, just ask follow-up questions. All of that is fine. These questions are so other people can learn as well. And sorry, my wrist is really hurting right now, but yeah, that's no factor, but it's disturbing my speech a little bit. Regardless, so let me read this one because I just copy pasted them. Could you explain your strategy and explain what you look after to get a good setup? I want to learn and not just copy trades. Thanks. And on the video tomorrow. Yeah, he just referenced in the questionnaire. Here I have this little question thing where I wrote, I'll prioritize questions asked here over those in DMs. So if someone asks here, I asked, do you want it answered here? Or I answered, do you want it answered here or in a video? And I let people answer. Yeah. So with this one, I've read it before, but it was like 4 hours ago. My fucking OBS, when was it? 3 hours ago. My OBS will fucking fuck me. I'm still paranoid about it. So yeah, let me just close this, and I'm gonna extrapolate on that. What is a good trade, right? What to look after? How to get a good setup, right? And since this is a very basic question, I'm gonna give a very basic type answer. I'm not gonna get into intricacies of candle reading or difficult type of setups that I need maybe an hour just to explain, or 2 hours to explain. There's also not good video material, in my opinion. I don't think a lot of people will watch that. It's better to give those out cut up. But most of my trades, like 75%, 70%, I'm not sure exactly, are classic reversals. So that's what we're going to do. And I made a little checklist for you. And if you're watching this at home, you can screenshot this or write this down yourself. Maybe have it on your computer when you're trading. Check this list off before you enter a trade. And this is some very, very basic stuff here. First off, I want you to ask yourself, am I emotionally invested into this trade? You're seeing this trade. Does this make you excited or something? Does this make you feel any type of way? Do you feel like you have to hurry in? Do you feel FOMO, fear of missing out? If you do, don't enter the trade. You haven't passed. You understand? You should not be emotionally connected to these candles. They don't care about you, so you shouldn't care about them. In fact, they do the opposite. This is a zero-sum game, so they don't just not give a shit about you. They want your money. They want to take your whole fucking bank. And then you ask yourself, have I redrawn? If you check this and you're like, no, I don't care. And you're not in a hurry. We're swing traders. We're not on the 1 minute chart. This is a 6-hour trade, and this is as low as I go. I'm usually on the 1 day and 12 hour. So this is relaxed. And you go to the next one. Have I redrawn SR areas this week? If you haven't in the last week, then get the fuck off the trade and redraw. You need proper SR areas with double bounces, 2 hits, or your setups are no longer valid. I've spoken a lot about how SR areas work. I can talk a little bit more about it. We do redrawings. We have separate days for redrawing. But an SR area is an area where price has reacted twice, with candle body being the number 1 priority, stick being number 2, and congestion, let me just find it. Some congestion. Yeah, this typical congestion right here, that's number 3, priority number 3. So body, stick, and congestion. That's the hierarchy. There are exceptions where if it's at an all-time high, for example, or all-time low, or you have to go back like 20 years to get an area, then just wait for a strong reaction to an area. Then that will be your new ranging SR area. But in general, yeah, that's how we make them. We look at price reacting here, it reacted, and this one is probably a bit, no, it reacted again here, and prices reacted here and jumped up. Yeah, pretty simple, just 2 bounces, that's it. And each time an SR area gets hit, volume gets taken out of it and it becomes weaker. Okay, so have you redrawn this week? If not, then fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. Go fucking redraw. If you're not trading with fresh SR areas, you're not trading my strategy properly. You're not trading it. And holy fuck, this has dropped a lot. That was a good trade. I would have been. Anyways, not now. The markets are closed now, just in case you don't know. The markets close Friday. They open again late on Sunday. They open at, let's see, how many hours? So, you have to click that, but yeah. So 11 p.m. Yeah. But yeah, that's a distraction. Let's stay on topic. Do I have a closed indecision candle? Okay. This is an indecision candle. A candle where the body is very small, like that, and the stick is big, and it's reacting to an already set, for example, as the example is here, SR area. Okay? Simple enough. Let's move on to the next one. If you don't, it's not a valid setup. I had a question just like this. Hey, is this a... Yeah, so... By the way, is this a valid setup in your opinion? In my opinion, it does. My opinion doesn't matter, right? But in my strat, no. Because there is no indecision candle here. That has been closed. And I don't trade on the 4 hour, ever. So no. Hope you watched this video so you understood why I said no. Because I didn't really have time to elaborate. And it's kind of a nuance to just write with one hand. If I move my fingers, it hurts. It hurts more the less swollen the hand is. It's really strange. I asked ChatGPT about it and I googled it and looked around. And apparently when the swelling goes down around the wrist area, blood flow can finally get in and throw out scar tissue and all that kind of stuff. So it becomes a lot more sensitive and it can hurt more and it can get really warm and stuff and you have to ice pack it and yeah. Anyways, is that indecision candle on an SR area? Like I said, it has to be on an area. This wouldn't be a good indecision candle, by the way. The thinner the body, the better. The better. If I Google indecision candle, indecision candle. Let's find some perfect examples here. This would be the perfect indecision candle. Actually, I might take one of these pictures. These are also, this is just a reverse hammer. It's not a classic hammer, it's a reverse hammer. Where is it? Yeah, these are small body. Long wicks are not good. It makes it harder to enter it. The smaller the wick, the better. Protruding from ends of the body. So I don't want it to talk about that. Long wicks. No, they don't need long wicks. They don't need... No, they don't need long wicks. Yeah, perfect. I'm actually going to put that in the Discord. It's going to benefit everyone. No, this is not the investing guide. This is the beginner guide. The investing guide is very limited. It's just me basically telling you to just buy a SPY index. You know, that's about it. Speculation isn't going to help you. So there we go. We got the perfect indecision candle. So do you have one of these on your setup and drawn SR areas? If you're unsure how to draw SR or understand SR, I have plenty of videos on our weekly redraws. So you can find that easily. That shouldn't be a problem for you. As long as you take it seriously. If you don't, I don't give a fuck either, right? So you go find it or you don't. Then you gotta ask yourself afterwards, is my entry below the candle close? If it's a short like this, it's below where the candle closed, or above if it's a candle high. So it would be the opposite, just this in reverse. Let me show you if that was confusing with me saying it. Let's pretend I was doing a reversal up here, like that would be possible. It wouldn't, but you have to be above the candle like that. The sell loss would have to be below. Let me get my hand down there. Like that. Very simply explained. Yeah. So we place it back. If your entry is set there and you're not panic entering, it's all closed, you're not entering late, then you're good to go on to the next one. Are there any areas above your sell loss for your SR area? So in this example, it will be your resistance. So you've set your sell loss here. Zoom out. Is there anything above it? If my sell loss would have been here, invalid, because the volume here has already been taken out. That makes it a high risk setup. However, in this example, we're good. You don't have to worry about this because this is the range here. This is where we're ranging. And I also want to preface here, before I go further, I want to make a little preface that classic reversal trading is a lot more intricate than this, but I'm explaining this in a very, very, very basic manner so you can understand the basics of it. And let's move on to the next one. Is my risk reward 1.5 plus and within the range? Meaning within these SR areas, right? It's between them. And is it 1.5 or more? Yes. If it's less, you can't force a range. You can't do that. No. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Move on to the next trade. Finding one good trade isn't important. This is about protecting your capital first and then being able to make a profit out of it. And then you ask yourself, is my risk reward over 2 on entry? If it is, if you're like, oh, the whole range goes here. Yay, 4.3R. Let's do it. No, wrong. Fuck out of here. Get it back. Because if you Google this or ask AI or anything, this is what I call a dreamer trade. There's no, I don't think it exists as a term. I just made it up myself. I used to do it quite a lot when I was younger. If I saw ranges that could give me, for example, 5% or 5R, let's just use the risk reward here, because I don't know what your bankroll profile is. It could be half of that, so 2.5. But no, let's not get into intricate stuff. Don't play huge ranges. Don't do more than 2.0, around 2.0 on entry. Or not, let's not say around. Don't go over 2.0. When 2.0 comes, that should be through extensions. As I call them all the time, it should be in the Discord points. So if this trade goes really well, if I was in this right now, I would have moved my sell loss to break even. Like this. And maybe gotten it down to a 2.0R. Like that. That would have been a 50-point extension. And that's very easy to see inside and adjust inside CTrader. Very nice platform for that. And the last question you got to ask yourself is, can I walk away right now? This is a very hard question to ask yourself because you can always hit me. But you have to test yourself on that. Like you got to have some kind of, maybe a system, or let's just say you leave every 5th trade. And if you find yourself unable to do that, if you can't just walk away, you're not ready. We're back at step A. You're emotionally invested into the trade because you can't walk away. That's all I've got for you, buddy. I did my very best here to give you a very simple or a very simplistic way of understanding the classic reversal entry setup style without going into too many intricacies or diluting it or anything else. With that said, that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. If you got any questions, you can leave a comment on YouTube. I always answer those. Or you can click the link and join the Discord, and you can hop in and just talk shit. Right on. So good surprise from him, huh? Yeah. You can hop in, you can talk shit, you can post memes, whatever. There's no rules like that. But you can also, again, ask questions. You don't have to ask questions here, but they can get diluted and disappear here. So this I always read all the time. I'm awake. And that's all I've got. So I'll end this river with, the hope that from the river to the sea, Korea will be free. Our hero, Kim Jong-un, will hopefully free the Korean Peninsula. That's all I got. I hope the checklist works out. It's a beginner checklist. I'll post it in the Discord as well. So yeah, I'll see you probably on Monday. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.